Hi, this is Justin from FITHAUS Personal Training, and today we're going to talk about intermittent fasting. So when it comes to nutrition, there are a ton of different diets out there and a whole bunch of different online gurus talking about which ones you should try, which ones you should avoid. When it comes to diets, you've probably heard keto, paleo, Whole30. There's a lot of different ones out there, and what you'll find with a lot of these different diets is they're pretty extreme and demanding. They might have you doing something completely different to what you're doing already. When it comes to doing anything extreme with your nutrition, you're probably setting yourself up for failure. I'm going to tell you the best thing to follow is the one that's going to be consistent over the long term. That's going to give you the right results. So when we talk about intermittent fasting, it's not so much a diet, it's more so a strategy that you can implement right away to see some very noticeable results. What is intermittent fasting? Basically, intermittent fasting gives you a window of eating and a window of fasting that's structured, and usually a longer period where you're not eating. This gives your digestive system a break, a good reset, and it also really helps with your hormonal levels. We'll talk about that as well in a little bit. So what are the benefits? Why should you do intermittent fasting? First of all, it's a really good way to help you lose fat while at the same time maintain muscle mass, potentially even build some muscle. Okay, it's also going to help with your energy. It's going to give you more structure to your day-to-day, what to eat and when. And let's get into some specifics there. So as far as the eating and fasting windows, we mentioned that before. When you're fasting, typically you want to fast for 16 to 20 hours, and then for the rest of the time of that day, that's your eating window. So during that eating window, you'd still be eating the normal foods that you would any day, and you wouldn't really want to cut back too much on calories if possible. You might already just naturally be in a calorie deficit because of that long window of fasting. So that's not the only reason why you're going to be losing fat. The other main reason there is because you're actually allowing your growth hormone to increase, and that's going to help burn more fat. It's also going to help you become a little bit more insulin sensitive. All right, guys, so now we're going to talk about how I do intermittent fasting and just the structure of a typical day. So when I wake up, first thing I do is start drinking water. I actually try to drink a liter of water before I even get out of my house and get my day going. So that's the first thing you want to do. On some days, you might throw in a green tea there, maybe a black coffee. It can really help your energy levels, especially if you're not eating until much later in the day. So just make sure you're not adding cream, sugar, anything that's going to add calories. And just the other thing to try to reduce or minimize completely would be supplements. So just giving your digestive system a complete break. So after that, first meal, looking forward to it all day. That's going to be noon or maybe even a bit later in the day. And you want to break that fast gradually. So ideally you have something like bone broth instead of a big heavy meal all at once. Ideally try to minimize carbs in that first big meal and have them a little bit more spread out throughout the rest of your eating window. And that's just the best way to just ease into it, being that your digestive system hasn't worked in a while. Okay? For that eating window, you try to cut it off at a certain point. Usually you're going 4 to 8, maybe even 10-hour eating window at the most. So based on when you start, that's when you end. That's my day, guys. If your day's a little bit off, some people I know start their eating window really early in the morning, could be 5 a.m., and then they go until around midday, and then they stop for the rest of the day. So it really depends on what works for you guys. And with that, you can really structure intermittent fasting on a day-to-day basis and get the most out of it.